All right, but while my air pressure build up, I'll let the examiner know that I'll begin my in-cab inspection. I'll start with my emergency equipment, which is located behind my seat. I have 3 triangle reflectors, not cracked, broke, or damaged, and ready for emergency. From there, I go behind my passenger seat for my fire extinguisher. Make sure it's properly mounted, properly rated, in the green zone. Pin is in place, and no matter the color, I would change it every year. Inside that compartment right here. From there, I check my glove compartment for spare electrical fuses, make sure they're present. Check my seat belt, make sure it ain't cut or torn, and that it locks and unlocks properly, and all my nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure. From there, I go in my window, make sure it rolls up and rolls down properly, it's not cracked, broke, or damaged. Check my door, both sides, not cracked, broke, or damaged, no illegal welds, nuts and bolts are tied properly secure. Make sure my strip around is not cut or torn to prevent any leaks. I'll check my mirror and mirror brackets, both sides, not cracked, broke, or damaged, no illegal welds, nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure. Make sure my mirror is adjusted to my rear view, no illegal stickers, and the seal around it is not cut or torn to prevent any vibrations. From there, I'm gonna go on my city horn and my air horn if the motherfucker works, excuse me. Not cracked, broke, or damaged and working properly. I go on my mirror adjuster switch right here, not cracked, broke, or damaged and working properly. I go on my windshield, make sure my windshield is clear of view, not cracked, broke, or damaged, no illegal pits, and the seal around it is not cut or torn to prevent any leaks. I check my wiper and wiper blades, not cracked, broke, or damaged, all nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure. Make sure my blades are new, I have enough rubber to clean my window completely. From there, I check my dashboard and my instrument panel, both not cracked, broke, or damaged, nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure. I'll check my oil gauge, should be between 30 and 60 when the engine is on. Check my temperature gauge, should not be over 200 in operating range. My RPMs lets me know when to shift. My speedometer lets me know how fast I'm going. I have a fuel gauge, lets me know how much fuel I have in my tank, but I still will check with a dipstick. I have a digital display voltmeter, should read between 14 and 16 with the engine running. I have a primary and secondary air gauge. It lets me know how much air I have in each tank. From there, I check my trailer brake and my applied pressure gauge, both not cracked, broke, or damaged and working properly. My applied pressure gauge lets me know how much air has been applied to my service brake. From there, I check my cruise controls and my engine brakes, not cracked, broke, or damaged and working properly. Check my windshield wipers, not cracked, broke, or damaged and working properly. I have my exterior lights, not cracked, broke, or damaged, working properly. A filter rejuvenator switch, not cracked, broke, or damaged and working properly. This switch is used to clean a particular filter that needs to be cleaned. From there, I'll check my dome light and my traction control switch, both not cracked, broke, or damaged and working properly. I check my fifth wheel release valve, my trailer air supply, and my parking brake, not cracked, broke, or damaged and working properly. I check my interaction differential switch, not cracked, broke, or damaged and working properly. I have an AC panel, consists of 4 speeds, hot, cold, and defrost. All right, it's working. I also have a bunk override switch, not cracked, broke, or damaged, working properly. This gives the bunk permission to override the AC panel. From there, I have a mirror heater and my panel lights, both not cracked, broke, or damaged and working properly. This side, I have a shutdown override switch and utility lamps, not cracked, broke, or damaged and working properly. I have a key ignition. Make sure it's not bent, cracked, or damaged. Proper size key for the ignition, working properly. From there, I start my steering wheel. On the 20-inch steering wheel, I should have no more than 2 inches of play. Make sure it's not cracked, broke, or damaged and working properly. Go on my indicators, left, right. Emergency 4-way flashers, not cracked, broke, or damaged and working properly. Turn them off. Here I check my daytime lights and my high beams. Make sure they're working properly. From here I check my steering wheel tilt. Make sure it ain't cracked, broke, or damaged and working properly. Check my clutch, service brake, and accelerator. Make sure they're not sticking, not cracked, broke, or damaged. Nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure. All my rubber is present. My clutch should have no more than 2 inches of play. There should be no grease, no oil, no debris to prevent accidents on the floor. Last but not least, I'll start with my stick shift. Make sure it's not sticking, not cracked, broke, or damaged. All nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure. Check my airline for any abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. Check my splitter, that is working properly. And my boot should not have any holes to prevent soot and poisonous fumes from entering the cab. With that, I have completed my in-cab inspection. I'll continue